It is the Riot Podcast. Happy Monday to you.
Hopefully everybody had a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, I hope it's a happy Monday.
Well, if not.
Happy Mondays?
Well, you're supposed to, though, keep a positive attitude so that you don't ruin Tuesday and the rest of the week. You got to start off strong.
Yep, that's what we're trying to do.
Just lie to yourself.
We're trying. And we're trying.
This is a sad Monday, though.
Why is that?
This is a very sad Monday.
Actually, you're right after the weekend.
After this weekend, and Hudson, he had to come in and remind me why this is especially sad for me. And I guess it's like a halfway happy Monday for Hudson.
Yeah.
Because his team lost, so there's some sadness there. But then the Buckeyes.
And Hudson doesn't care if the Buckeyes win. Let's say it that way.
Okay, that's a generous way to put it.
I was going to say.
Well, I didn't want to say you want
charitable.
them to lose. I mean, everybody.
They're
know your audience, Hudson.
They're college students. They're trying really hard. They're working hard in the classroom, and they're working hard on the field. And you never want to see anybody, regardless of what state they may be representing or what outfits they may be wearing when
uniforms.
they may be wearing. You don't want to see them struggle, which is why I never want to see anybody struggle when they're playing Ohio State. That's all.
You
want it to be easy.
Whether it's Oregon, whether it's Akron, whether it's Miami of Ohio, I just want them to go out there and do their best against Ohio State.
That is so kind of you. Well, we talk Packers, we talk Cleveland Browns, we talk the Bengals, and we talk the Buckeyes.
Yes.
And Iowa. Yes.
Iowa.
Yeah,
There it is.
Iowa.
There it is.
Nice recall, Nikki.
So all you Iowa fans listening to us,
We're gonna expand into a whole new audience,
That's right.
giving Iowa and the Bengals their time on the air.
Keep listening to the podcast because your part's coming up.
you are next. We also talk about Taco Bell and what they want you to do with your empty sauce packet.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort they want you to put in.
Well, it's sweet of them to think.
Yeah.
So little.
They are
so little.
vicariously doing their part to help the environment by telling somebody else to do their part to help the
Hey,
environment.
if anybody goes to Taco Bell soon, though, let me know if they still have their breakfast salsa. I had that one time, like in a packet, and that was really good. I liked that
They've
stuff.
got a special one that's
for
just
breakfast time.
Huh, I didn't know that.
And then what I thought was one of the most interesting things we talked about, because I thought that this was absolutely ridiculous, was the 17-page relationship.
Oh, so wait, you don't have that with your girlfriend?
Listen. It was like, okay, if she said we had to sign anything, it had to do with rules or anything like that. Can't we just talk about it?
Nope.
But if I had to sign pen to paper, that's like the worst thing ever.
That feels like you're going to wind up on Judge Judy.
If your girlfriend comes to you and says, hey, I got a Google Doc, you need to just wait till what she might have. Because it could be these 17 pages.
The thing that makes me laugh, too, is that when you put it from the perspective of, well, the girl, she had a tough relationship before, so she just wants to be really careful. But it doesn't. If it was a guy,
doing this to the girl,
it's not what you're supposed to say. But if it was a guy, nobody would be like, well, he's just trying to make it through. He was hurt in the past. Really, no, it'd be like, this guy's crazy. He's controlling. But since it's the girl, it's okay.
I think because he says it's okay and he's going along with it, that's the only reason why there's any positive from this story. Because you would think they would have broken up or never made it past the fourth date. Because that's a lot.
Yeah, it is surprising. So I wonder if we'll get the news story if they break up one day.
Well, now that the news is out about them, they almost have to stay together because you don't want to
until you don't want to be the
your
guy
pride
who follows that relationship. Like the next time she's dating a new guy and hey, here's the contract that you heard about.
I'm like, nope.
This is a whole TV episode of he doesn't want to breach the contract. So he's trying to trick her into breaching the contract. And he's like, well, this is the review. And sorry, but it states right here, Section 8, Article B, that you should not do that. So I guess we're going to have to break up.
Give me chocolates.
Yeah.
Where's the flowers at? Well,
he goes to the store she normally goes to, buys all the chocolates. So that,
you messed up. Well, listen to the story. Let us know your thoughts about it. A lot of people had some very interesting things to say back about the girl. So I won't repeat those. In this, we also do our food fight. We tried the Nashville Hot Cheetos and the Mountain Dew Voodoo flavor for 2021. So when you're done with this podcast, hop over to RadioU Riot on Facebook or YouTube, and you can watch our review too.
Yeah, and that wasn't necessarily the food fight we were hoping to have this morning.
Perfect,
but we were still happy to have it.
I have to stop eating the Cheetos now. They're going to have to go in the break room. But thanks for listening and thanks for enjoying the podcast.
Yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
And Nikki, you're probably you're not as much an NFL fan. So did you watch any NFL yesterday?
No, I did not. I saw some of the results and just kind of kept online with it, but didn't end up watching any.
So not only did you miss all of the games, you also missed the pregame tribute to, they were basically... It was for 9/11, so they were trying to take a hopeful tone with it and look forward like it was the day after 9/11. It was the 20-year anniversary of the day after 9/11. So that was, instead of having different national anthems at each of the stadiums, they played this video, it seems, that they also played out over all the TV networks that had games on, which was great. It was actually very touching, and maybe
it was a nice tribute.
Some of us had a tear in our eye. I don't know. I might have been one of them. Maybe I wasn't. But there's nothing like going from a tear in your eye, God bless America, to we have the meats.
Oh, no.
And that's exactly what happened.
The commercial after?
It was the most American thing you could imagine.
No.
It goes straight from, it was this woman, her dad.
I'm watching it now.
He was killed in the attacks. And so she's singing the anthem. And it's like her at the 9/11 memorial in New York City. And so she ends the national anthem, the home of the brave, and it goes.
And then there's Arby's.
Right into Arby's.
No,
there was no transition whatsoever. There was, Nikki,
America.
We're not paid the way that the professionals are at CBS and Fox and the NFL.
Well, you
all those production companies
have a transition liner or
you could
something
have done
like
anything
out of it to kind of wrap up that program and then lead into the Arby's sub sandwich.
I mean, it really would have been cool if you could have had orchestrated that and gone straight into, and here's a live shot of whatever game your stadium is. And the crowd's probably going crazy, and everybody's got a tear in their eye, whatever. But no, I mean, that might have been tough to pull off because you're doing one video for all the different places.
Sure.
But you could have had something that maybe was, just some kind of buffer between the home of the brave and we have the meats. Yeah.
Do you think someone in the control room was like, guys, I didn't see that one coming? But I'm noticing it now, too, that maybe was not the best into the commercial break.
Yeah, maybe all of the people, or maybe whoever was in charge of it, they were so emotionally taken aback that they forgot to press the play on the right element, so it just went straight into Arby's.
No,
I don't know.
I remember this happening before for another game, too, for some reason, where just sometimes the commercials that come right out of it do not match the tone of what was playing. And there's honestly really nothing you could do unless you had a little buffer thing around it.
Yeah, but that... You'd think all the money that gets poured in, and they obviously really took this, the tribute thing seriously. All the money poured into that, and nobody was like, hey, guys, you think we should go straight into the Arby's ad? Nobody raised a hand and just said, hey, maybe we can have something in there.
Something else we can do?
Anything. So that was a mood killer for sure.
I'm sure they didn't mean to, but that is sometimes when they don't know. They just don't think of that ahead of time.
That means yesterday, like I had a tear in my eye. There was other people, I'm sure, that were openly weeping through an Arby's commercial.
You're like, I promise you, is what was before. It's not Arby's.
It's not the meats, although they are beautiful.
You can still be moved by both.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
We've got Isaiah in the studio to talk actual football now on the field. Although, Isaiah, I am curious, did you see the 9/11 Arby's situation?
See, I didn't see that, but I heard you guys talking about it, and it sounds pretty horrible.
So it feels like you've seen
it.
Yeah. I can just imagine that pretty clearly in my mind, just one to the next, and it wouldn't even be that surprising.
That's
the sad part, isn't it?
Someone's recording of it, but it's even worse if you were probably in the moment, watching it
because there was
on.
all the emotion with it. So, yeah, that was tough. And it was also tough to watch NFL stuff for Isaiah and I. We both had our own teams have their issues yesterday. For me, the Packers lost 38-3 which is
that seems really bad.
Yeah.
that is really bad.
Uh-oh.
Was
Is someone not caring?
Yeah, I know.
Does someone not want to play?
Now, some might accuse, and of course, the blame is going to go, because it always seems to, on the quarterback. So everybody's going to be like, it's Aaron Rodgers' fault because he couldn't score. Where, it's hard to score when you don't have the ball. So that was the problem with the Packers. They were down 17-3 at halftime, and they got that 3 right as it went to the half. They allowed 17 points, but they didn't really have the ball the whole time. Their defense was just allowing New Orleans, who they're playing against, to just run all over them. So that was a tough one. I'm sure that it would have been nice for them to score a little bit, but not a good start to the season. The good news is they're still tied for first in the NFC North.
There you go. There you go.
We're not starting from behind or anything. And for Isaiah, for the Browns, they had a tough last minute or fourth quarter? Or
it was hard
because I saw they were leading the whole time.
We were leading pretty much the entire game against the Chiefs, who are one of the best teams in the entire football league. At halftime, it was 22-10, and we were winning. And that first half, we literally were dominating the Chiefs.
Yeah, I kept getting the little updates on my phone where it's like the Browns are scoring. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Is Mahomes hurt?
Like,
What's
don't
happening?
Don't worry, it'll change.
Yeah. And then in the second half, it did. We ended up getting outscored 23-7
Oh, no.
in the second half. But we still had the lead with 5 minutes to go. And then within the last 5 minutes of the game, we fumbled twice and threw an interception.
Ouch.
Hey.
Yeah, not good.
That will do it. The final drive of the game, we were down by like 3 or 4 points. We had the ball at their 50-yard line, and Baker Mayfield, our quarterback, gets hit as he's throwing and throws an interception when he was trying to throw the ball out of bounds. But it's only week 1. And we were playing a very good team. So.
Both of you guys. But it's only the beginning.
But it's only the beginning.
Fine.
There's plenty more suffering to
fine.
come.
Yes.
Both of your teams lost. It's
Yeah.
okay. At least you had food and you had friends. And it was fine.
And who would have thought, as much pain as Isaiah and I had to deal with our teams losing, that the Bengals yesterday,
oh my gosh.
Who would have thought they would be celebrating on day 1 of the football season? So kudos to the Bengals. I'm trying to think if there were other interests.
I knew about the Bengals because in my neighborhood, some guy sent out a message to everybody of like, hey, if there's any Bengals fans, do you want to come over and watch the game?
Oh, good for him.
I was like, oh, he's trying to meet other Bengals
Yes.
people.
Wow.
He wants a group for Sundays.
He
a
does.
neighborhood Bengals group.
That was really fun to see.
Meanwhile, he thought they were all going to, just sit around and complain again and whatever.
And
But
they
turns
won.
out they actually had something to cheer about.
They won.
Good for them, and good for anybody whose team actually was fortunate enough to win yesterday. We don't know what that feels like, but I'm sure eventually we will.
Yeah, you're still doing all right. Both teams are still in the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Plenty of
still,
time.
No, it's just the start of the season.
we'll turn it
right?
around. Green Bay has the Lions next week, so we'll be fine.
There you go. If you don't win that
That's
one.
when that's when we pack it in.
That's
when we give up.
If you
I can't
don't win
wait.
next week, Hudson may not be here on Monday, and I don't blame him at all.
I can't wait to go through football season with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
We're gonna have some rough Mondays.
Yeah.
This is The Riot. Radio U.
You ever feel, Nikki, like you just have too much free time?
Not all the time, but sure, we'll say every so often maybe you feel that way.
Well, that's good news. That's good news that you don't feel that way, because if you did, it might mean that your sense of well-being is going down, down, down.
Oh no.
Yeah. You think you have a good sense of well-being?
I think so.
Yeah.
So that means I must have not enough free time.
It means you must have the right amount between 2 and 5 hours. And I can't look at me reading this story. They say about 2 to 5 hours is where people actually feel happy. I don't know if that's per day or per week.
So 2 to 5 hours of what? Of busy
your,
stuff?
Of your own time, where
Okay.
they defined it basically as leisure activity, which is either on your own and non-productive. Something.
2 to 5 hours a day?
It can't be a day, right?
day?
It's a week, I think.
Oh,
But that
maybe.
feels really low for a week.
It does feel too low for a week, but way too much for a day.
Yeah, I don't know, but you're right.
Unless you're listening, like, I have 5 hours. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but then you're right at the height. This is a study done by or at least a writing that was published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, where this researcher, he analyzed 2 different studies that involved about 3,500 participants.
Yeah.
And what they found was it was kind of surveys about how people use their time and stuff. And what they found was that people spending their leisure time, if they have over 2 hours of free time, that's good. That means, like, if you have less than that, you're going to have a lower sense of well-being. But if people got all the way up to 5 hours, that was where it started to drop off, where if you have more free time than 5 hours, that is a negative and your well-being is going to go down.
It's pretty much the same as like all the sleep studies where they're like, guys, you can get too little sleep, but then you can also get too much sleep. So you need to find the sweet spot. And they say that this sweet spot, you don't want too much of a good thing. So if you have too much free time, that actually ends up hurting you and your sense of productivity and mostly your sense of purpose if you have too much free time each day.
Okay, if I'm reading this right, it's over a 24-hour period. So if you have
5
more
hours, that's a lot.
I totally understand if you have more than 5 hours of free time for 24. I mean, that must be tough. It must be tough. It really does. So I understand why your sense of well-being may go down.
Sure.
But that's what they say. So over 5 hours of free time, that's when the reason they say that is because your basically it gives you kind of less of a sense of purpose and productivity, where it just feels like, you might be having fun sailing. That's because they say leisure. Anytime I hear leisure, I always think sailing. I've never gone sailing. I've never gone sailing, but sailing and leisure, that's hand in hand.
That's what he thinks you're doing. Well, they call it like the Goldilocks thing, where it's just right. You got to find the just right amount of time for you to have your own personal time.
So it'd be good if I can get to 2 hours.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
And then Tim texted you, Hudson, said, every time I see a hot dog, I now think how if I eat it, I'm going to die sooner because of you guys. So thank you, Hudson, and your hot dog addiction for causing me to not eat hot dogs anymore.
What? Tim?
You've destroyed Tim, and
Listen,
I hope you're happy.
If you stop eating hot dogs, you're letting the bad guys win.
Well, the hot dogs are the bad guys.
No, the hot dog thing, you may die sooner because of the hot dogs. You may. But at least you'll die happier.
You could die from anything sooner.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't let this stop you from enjoying hot dogs.
Yeah. What's next? You're going to stop stop getting in your car? Every time I get in my car, I think about all the people who die in car accidents.
Oh, what if
It's ruined getting in my car for me.
Hudson, you don't eat hot dogs while you're driving, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, good.
I did have to stop to think about it.
I just make sure you're not.
I guess it's a rare moment.
Do you have a car hot dog? Because sometimes, like, Eric will go get dinner or something somewhere, and then sometimes people will get like the road burger. So you'll get a little cheeseburger or something.
Yeah,
and that's
just because you're the one that's out.
Yeah, so
you're
like
out
you
to
get
doing the
that,
errands,
and you eat it before you get home. So I didn't know if there was like a road hot dog.
Well, you know what? The truth is, it's just harder to find hot dogs that are convenient like that. You know what I mean? Unless there's a Sonic nearby, I'm kind of not a lot of options for the hot
gas
dog.
station hot dogs. I didn't know if that's...
No, I don't stoop that low.
Oh, that's
Again,
your line?
I go all beef only, and those gas station hot dogs, who knows? I like to know what's going into my body.
Sure. Even if it's a hot dog.
If it's a hot dog.
You're right. He does have that qualifier that has to be an all beef hot dog.
Yep.
And for the roller dogs, I mean, you think the disease is rolling out.
Yeah.
But you don't know.
You're taking that. Okay. If a standard hot dog. Actually, wait, maybe we've been thinking about this all wrong. Maybe they're lumping all hot dogs in together in that one study that says 36 minutes?
I think you lose like every time you eat a hot dog, you lose like 36 minutes of your life.
Yes. And so...
they weren't counting your gourmet dogs?
I'm thinking that the gas station hot dogs are skewing that number way higher than it would be if they were only including the Hebrew National or Oscar Mayer all beef hot dogs.
The nice ones?
Yeah, the good ones.
Well, let's see. Stacy just texted and said, Hudson, do you think you've missed your calling as far as being maybe the driver for the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile? Maybe you should be doing that instead of radio.
I've thought about it, but the thing is, I'm horrible at driving, so it would not be a very good advertisement.
So you're saying hot dogs would take time off your life? You would have an accident?
and driving. We just
you drive and you're driving.
Added it all together. It's not. Yeah, they don't. I guess maybe if I was the driver of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, it might be advertising because I'd be on the news because it'd be like Wienermobile stops traffic downtown or whatever. It would
Accident again.
Yeah. No.
Welcome to The Riot, where you listen to us and that's it. It's pretty much a one-way street. The Riot. RadioU.
So here's the question. What do you do when you go to Taco Bell, you get your sauce packets, your Diablo, your mild, your hot, whatever your preference may be. What do you do with them after you use them?
You thank them for their service and you throw it away.
No, that's wrong.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
You're not supposed to throw them away.
Or are you supposed to keep them for memories or recycle them? Or what are you supposed to do?
You are supposed to recycle them.
I don't think you can you?
Well, Taco Bell says that about 8.2 billion used packets a year wind up in landfills.
Yeah.
Because, or in addition to, maybe not because, they're not recyclable in your recycling bin. You can't just add them in with your cans and bottles.
I see. It's not, but you can recycle it a different way?
But you can recycle it. They are pioneering a way for you to be able to help out by recycling your sauce packets with a company called TerraCycle. So actually, if you go into Taco Bell, I saw this the other day. If you go into Taco Bell, they have a little QR code that tells you what to do. I didn't scan it, but I see the news story now. And what that QR code would tell you is sign up for something called TerraCycle. You have to sign up for an account.
Yeah.
Then after you've gone to Taco Bell enough where you've saved your sauce packets, the used sauce packets, you save them in a box. And then once you have enough, TerraCycle will allow you to print a free shipping label.
Oh, and you mail them in?
And you mail them in. And then they get recycled by TerraCycle.
Listen, it is a good idea. That's expecting us to put them in the box, keep the box. Are you supposed to wash them out or like if you don't use them? Because like sometimes I still have packets that you don't use and I would just throw away if I'm not keeping them all.
Well, you got to save. The unused package you got to save.
Yeah, but
because you might need it one day.
If I have enough, let's just say
you can never have enough sauce.
We can.
No, you can't. They don't expire.
They used to just throw a ton in your bag.
Yeah,
almost like making a statement, like, "Here, fine, you asked for some." So I didn't know if like you want to recycle those. Do you have to take the sauce out of them?
I would think. That's a good question. They're little squeezable packets. There's no way you can actually effectively get them clean, right?
So, I don't think so. Can you just send it in then?
I think that's just going to be part of whatever TerraCycle does with them. They're going to take care of that.
The big issue has been so many people have moved into curbside pickup, delivery, and drive-through. Mm-hmm. So 75% of Taco Bell transactions, they are through the drive-through.
Exactly.
So they assume you want some sort of sauce with it. Mm-hmm. So they'll just put an assortment or a few of the main one. And not everybody ends up using those. So there's just so much packet waste than there was when they would ask you personally, like, hey, do you want any? And you'd say no, so they wouldn't waste them.
Oh, they still always ask me.
Yeah, well,
I always say no, I don't need the sauce.
Well, you don't need to recycle it.
So I'm doing my part to help the environment. But what the funny thing is because you're thinking, well, why don't they just have like little drop boxes for the sauce packets in the store?
At Taco Bell, that'd be great.
You would think, despite that there's 75% of their transactions are through the drive-through, still, if they're wanting you to recycle, why don't they just have a little drop box for you instead of you having to go through the trouble of signing up for this thing and taking it to the post office and hanging out with these packets for all this time?
Listen, they're having hard enough people just to actually work there. This is through TerraCycle, which is the company that actually is doing the recycling, not Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So Taco Bell would have to get one of their employees to put it in the box.
To put it in the box to go to the post office.
They don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of work for everybody. And I know it's a small price to pay to keep the Diablo sauce out of the landfill. Out of the landfill, but
maybe the landfill wants the
they're also keep in mind your clientele, Taco Bell. Don't know that all of us are real go-getters out there running errands and stuff like that, heading to the post office.
I haven't mailed anything in a while.
No, yeah.
But if you promise I can just print out the label, then maybe I can do that.
So you'll print the label and then it'll sit on your desk or, sit by the door. One day I'll go to the post office.
Yeah, well, you'll start to smell your salsa box when you don't send it in enough time.
That doesn't sound so bad, actually.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
And this is a food fight, you could say, a food fight, a failure, if you think about it.
Oh, my goodness.
Not a failure on our part. It's not our fault that
It's not.
we failed in leading up to this food fight. It is the fault of Kroger / Dollar General / what's the other place? Circle K. That all lied to us.
Well, we're looking for Thrashed Apple, which is a new Mountain Dew flavor that was supposed to come out starting today. And we're probably going to still get it later today, but we'll have to do a food fight with it some other day this week. So in second place, running up for Mountain Dew, we are going to the backup flavor. We're going to try the Mountain Dew 2021 Voodoo flavor. They always come out with a new one each year. So this is the newest edition, mystery flavor. And then we have the Nashville Hot Cheetos that we'll be trying too.
So what should we try first?
I kind of think you might want to do the Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
I was thinking because it's
first.
a mystery, so we don't want to... we drink the Mountain Dew and it's like, oh, this tastes like Nashville Hot Cheetos. That must be the mystery.
The second you open it, if it sprays, you're going to smell that. That is sweet smelling.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'm ready for this kind of thing now.
So I looked in the past. 2019's Voodoo flavor was supposed to be the candy corn edition.
Okay.
And
I'm
last
glad I missed that
year,
one.
which I don't think
I was about
we
to say,
tried.
what would that taste like?
Satan's earwax.
Last year they tried for the mystery flavor. It was just kind of fruit candy explosion. So that was that one. And then this year they still say it's a mystery, but a lot of people have their guesses.
Fruit candy explosion.
Who guessed that one?
Yeah. As if you taste this tastes just like a fruit candy explosion.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, at this point,
They nailed it.
smelling this, you can kind of tell, like, there's a few things that come to mind first, but let's take a sip and we'll see. Wow. Oh, it's so sweet. It's good. Wow, these
You
flavors
like
are.
it?
I do. I like that
I think
one.
it's pretty good too.
It's
It is
actually-
sweet.
I think it's all right.
I don't mean sweet as in like it's cool. I just mean it's like it's a very sweet tasting
Yeah, it is.
drink. Ugh.
You think it has like I've got my mind on candy again.
Candy? You want me to tell
Maybe
you
it's
some of
just
the
because you
ideas?
spoiled it by telling me last year was fruit candy explosion.
Yeah, now you're just like, is it candy? Could it be like a sweet tart?
I think when you taste it, you really taste fruit punch, Hawaiian fruit punch. But some people also say it has hits of Smartie Parties
I
and
have no idea
Party
what that
parties.
Pixie Sticks. So like a combination of all three of those, they feel like that's
I
the
guess
flavor.
pixie sticks are very sweet, but
Well, what do you think? What else could it be?
I think it tastes almost like a Baja Blast in my mind. That's
Really?
why. That's what just keeps on popping into my head over and over again.
I think it's got it's so weird when you have a mystery flavor and you can totally it matches up with something in your mind,
Yeah, you
but you
just
can't
can't
place
describe it.
And this one, it has again, maybe it's just because the well has been poisoned. The well of my mind has been poisoned by last year being fruit candy explosion, but it does taste like it could be like a Smartie or a sweet tart type thing, something along those lines.
That's what they're saying, the Pixie Sticks.
I think the Pixie Stick or like maybe like a Fun Dip is what I'm getting from it.
Fun dip.
So basically, the one year was the candy fruit explosion. This is just the candy explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sugar and sweet.
The sugar
That's it.
explosion.
So that's the Mountain Dew Voodoo mystery flavor for this year. It is super sweet.
Yeah, you know
And
what?
I think more Hawaiian punch, but we'll find out, I guess, when they unveil
Yeah, I thought
it.
it was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't mind it actually. I think can we save those? Put them in the fridge, share them
can.
around for
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
I think after a week, our bodies.
Yeah, we're gonna be hurting a little bit.
Well,
Why
there's
can't
enough.
there be the Mountain Dew Zero Voodoo
Yeah.
flavor?
Yeah, you're right. That
we're
would-
gonna crash in like an hour.
Yeah.
It'll be all right. So, okay, the last thing for us to try for this food fight is the Cheetos Crunchy Nashville Hot. This is a Dollar General and Circle K exclusive.
And Amazon,
And Amazon.
And Amazon and eBay, of course.
if you're
by-
willing to pay.
If you're
Yeah.
willing to pay. By smelling them, it's kind of weird. They don't really have a
a
smell.
hot.
Like you really get a corn sort of
Yeah,
smell from
and
it.
just
but,
like a spice,
I think they
a
smell
generic
good, though.
spice.
yeah. All right, well, let's try them out.
All right, here we go.
All right, we get crunchy too. Well,
Hey,
These are great.
Oh,
these
these
are
are
so
good.
good.
these are delicious.
Wow.
Well, that is $14
well spent. Yeah.
Wow.
Man, the last 2 Cheeto flavors have been super good.
That is really good.
Cheetos is nailing it. They really are. Oh, and you get the spice after you kind of swallow.
Sorry, guys,
then the
this is my
spice
bag.
comes in.
Yeah.
You can have the Mountain Dew, but I'll take this. That is super good. I like them. Those are good.
I mean, it's an aggressive way to start the day.
Mountain Dew, Nashville Hot.
Cheetos when the sun has barely kissed the horizon, but man, this is good.
I'm proud of us, guys. We had a good food fight this
That was
morning.
good. That's like a good aftertaste of heat, but it wasn't super aggressive hot. It was a really good flavor.
It stays there. It
does.
builds
It's
a
hanging
tiny
around.
bit, but
That's
it is
actually
a nice flavor.
that's quite accurate to Nashville Hot too, where you get some flavor up front and then you get the heat at the back, and that's totally the way.
One more sip of the mystery flavor Mountain Dew, and then
to clear you out. Well, hey, kudos to
we'll call it a day.
the Frito-Lay company for making this
Very
happen.
good.
They didn't make it easy for us to acquire what we wanted, but what we did wind up getting is pretty darn good.
Yeah, especially the Nashville Hot Cheetos. Who was it? Let's see. Oh, Annie texted in and said, when you guys tried the Mexican Cheetos, I bought them for $14 off Amazon.
Oh, no.
Now I feel like I'm going to have to do the same with the Nashville Hot ones. I'm sorry, but they're really good.
If you spent $14 on those, you're going to spend like $28 on these.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
How do you feel about this, Nikki? A relationship contract. Not with me. Just to be clear.
I think we have a show contract.
Yeah. Well, should we?
I don't know.
Should we?
Are you talking like if you're in a relationship with someone,
You're dating somebody?
Yeah, you have a contract with them.
And this is a couple I have here that has a 17-page contract that lays out all of the ground rules, all of the boundaries for their relationship. Mm-hmm. So I guess that if at any point you break any of the rules that are in this contract, you're subject to termination.
Wow, it's only 2 weeks into their first Tinder date that the girl in this relationship presented the 17-page relationship contract. That's a lot to handle.
That's quick. And the guy just went along with it. And I mean, they're a very cute couple, and they say they're happy because this goes back to where they met in October of last year. So at this point, they're still, that's a whole year. They've been going strong.
Relationships are different. And I think what's key is if you talk about things early enough, that could be a problem later. So she wants him to pay for date nights.
Yeah.
She wants flowers twice a month. She wanted her man to stay in shape, and so he has to work out 5 times a week.
See, this is where I start to wonder that, like,
what about your side?
Where you could be, like, let's say you're the guy, and you're meeting the requirements of the contract, but are you really? Remember that old movie Office Space, where they're like, well, 17 is the minimum pieces of flair, but we just thought you'd like to maybe express yourself and wear more flair.
So you want more contracts?
Two is the minimum amount of times you're supposed to buy me flowers a month. But I just thought if you really loved me, maybe you would want to express your love more by buying me more flowers.
This is a lot, I think, to ask for. You get a romantic gesture once every 2 weeks.
Well, that's open to interpretation.
There's no silent treatment allowed. He has to pay for the date nights, like I mentioned. She had a bad previous relationship where the person did not really follow what she wanted, and so that led her to creating this. And they say that she says she recommends all couples have a contract. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, it's the being written down part that's kind of weird about it.
That's what you don't like?
I think that a lot, for almost any relationship, you want to be healthy. Like, you have to have an understanding of each other, and you do have to have some of these kind of ground rules where, like, in some relationships, some people will be comfortable with this, but other people aren't. So you need to know how your significant other, the person you're going out with, is going to feel about it. But to have everything written down so that if you don't meet the minimum requirements, you're subject to review. That feels like it feels a little. I would kind of call it a little controlling. You think?
I think so. I think that's safe to say.
It's tough to judge other people's relationships, and they've been together, and in the pictures they look very happy.
Well,
so
I'm sorry, but being together for a year, you still have a lot of time left. You still have a lot of time. And
Carl, what do you do?
This is a great text message. She just listed 17 red flags to qualify her for Run Bro.
Yeah, for real, right?
But if he's the right person, like if they fit, then that's
if he's
one
a pushover, then
I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. I might have thought it, but I'm not saying.
The Riot promise is that they'll always have an opinion on everything they talk about. But that doesn't mean any of their opinions will make sense. This is The Riot on RadioU.
We've heard about different kind of, people that like to expose themselves. Naked bike rides. The Philadelphia one just happened a little bit ago. This is a little bit of a different category.
Well, there's differences between like sanctioned naked events and like naked communities. But then there's always the other person who's like, hey, look who's running naked. And they're just, something's wrong.
Yeah, something is wrong. But this one, I think it falls in between. It's a guy in Florida. His name is Mark Anthony Filial. And he has been arrested after he exposed himself to toll workers on the highway.
Was he making a statement about the tolls?
7 times. Maybe it was.
I think he's saying something.
Maybe that's what it was all along.
I can't carry change if I'm not wearing anything. How can I pay the tolls?
Yes, that's as good an excuse as any.
I think so.
So this happened at different various tolls over a week's span in Florida. And so now he has been charged here with indecent exposure.
Dude, he doesn't fall in between. He's one of the
What do you mean?
He's one of the gross ones. He's just showing. Yes, he's doing that.
They say that he was completely naked. It's not like he was undressing. You know what I mean? Exposing yourself. Yeah, exposing yourself conjures up images, which I hate to think about, but it conjures up images of undressing in some way or, letting something slip through. But that's not what he was doing. He was naked. So what's to separate him from the naked bike ride? He was in his car.
It depends on where
you can
you're
do anything
at.
you want in your car.
No, I thought so. No, I think I still think he falls in the one category, but yeah, he was naked and 7 times.
Yeah.
Fool me once.
Well, maybe it was. He always drives naked.
Yeah, I don't think
it's just what makes him comfortable in the car.
He was identified through a photo comparison and his identity matched.
He thought he wouldn't get caught. That's the thing, right?
Well, I think that's the thrill. See, that's why he's doing it. That's why he's doing it.
I think he thought he could, he wanted to expose himself, and he thought, who's going to catch? I'm just driving quickly through.
Oh, they get your license plate because if you don't pay, you'll get a thing.
He wasn't thinking that clearly.
Well, that's the guy's problem. He's fully clothed for his mugshot.
Yeah,
I see that.
They had to give him something.
Dude, it's just embarrassing when what's his family like? Is that dad?
Oh, if he has one. If he has one. It is sad.
So I think it's more like he was doing that on purpose.
He probably was. But still, I mean, think about the other things you can do in your car.
You're not. No, I don't want to.
Think about what you can do in there.
No.
And it's your own car. It's your private property.
No, but
if you're not causing people to have an accident.
You are causing problems because you're going through the tolls and there's a person there.
You know what his mistake was?
What?
He didn't go in the easy pass lane. He could have just driven through and he would have been fine. Put his clothes on by his destination, when he arrived.
No one would have known.
It wouldn't have been a big deal.
Gosh.
He had to go through the cash lane.
Yeah, that's why he wanted a reaction.
Yeah, you're right. Or he didn't want to pay for Easy Pass.
2 is better than 1. Unless we're talking about The Riot. The Riot, RadioU.
There's a lot of football over the weekend, and I don't want us to forget that Ohio State lost. I know it feels so long ago, but I want the pain to remain real.
So you want
for
college
Ohio State
football
fans.
too?
Yes, I had to deal with a lot of pain with the Packers, so I just feel that you know what always makes me feel better? Laughing at other people's
pain. When other people are also in the pain that you're in.
If I have to suffer, everyone has to suffer.
Isaiah, I don't know if that is healthy for us.
I don't know either. I don't even know if I like that at all.
I know, but I guess it is what it is. So the Buckeye loss was a big one on Saturday.
Yeah. How was your experience watching the game?
If you're a fan of Oregon, the Oregon win.
Yeah. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody around here is, I haven't heard anybody take that tone with it.
Yippee-ki-yay today a little bit? No. It's pretty sad Saturday. Followed into a sad Sunday for me as a Browns and Ohio State fan. But the only thing that I can say is at least we lost to a good team early in the season.
Does that make you feel good?
No.
It makes me feel better than if we had lost to a bad team late in the season.
It makes me worry about every game. Whereas I think other seasons you were just like, having a good time. And
now it's like a roller coaster.
Actually,
I don't know if I want to watch to find out if we lose or if it's another bad game.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. There's a couple of factors that make this a unique season for Ohio State, where one is they've got the freshman quarterback, C.J. Stroud, who, it seems like he was a big part of the problem at the game on Saturday because he just kept overthrowing people. And again, when you're a freshman, it's hard when you don't have so much experience to overcome that.
Yeah.
And you lose a big game. And then they haven't had a struggle like this since Ryan Day became coach. When Urban was coach, it was like you almost expected them to just lose a game sometime during the season.
One.
Yeah, especially one that you didn't, and you expected to sweat it out against teams that, like Indiana or something that you would expect to beat every time. But with Ryan Day, they've just rolled through almost everybody, and they haven't had an early season loss where now it makes all the rest of the games matter all that much more, because if you slip up again, you're really almost completely eliminated.
They kept saying they had 10 or 11 players still off the team too for various reasons. And then the quarterback guy, Eric, kept yelling at him every time he would overthrow. And you're just like, stop overthrowing it. But I mean, he seems like he's a good player, but he seems really nervous.
Yeah.
And that's what's just frustrating.
But it's hard. So it's hard for Ohio State fans to accept because they're not used to this, but maybe this just isn't the year. Maybe this is just again, like Nikki has said, a rebuilding year.
No, dude, I kept telling, I was like, turn it off.
No, it cannot be a rebuilding year. We have 2 first-round wide receivers. We have good players on the team. I think we just got to figure it out.
You have that every year.
Yeah,
and you're spoiled, and you need a year where you go 7-5.
Everybody
7-5.
And have to go to the Alamo Bowl or something.
Oh my gosh.
Kept saying you need a year where you feel like how it was for most every other team.
Yeah, you need a year where you feel like what Michigan feels every year.
Well, when that happens, you call me, but I'll probably be 45.
Somehow
it'll be late.
Michigan fans probably want to point out that they have a better record than Ohio State. Right?
Yeah, I know.
Not that it'll help them when they actually play.
Listen, guys, let's not turn on each other, all right?
Yeah, exactly.
All teams, good job, keep trying, but I don't want to watch anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Well, they have a bounce back spot this week against Tulsa.
Don't say anything. Why
If
are you saying it like that?
Let me just say, if we lose in the next 2 weeks, we have Tulsa and then Akron. If we lose either of these next 2 games,
I'm done with it.
I am over it. Yeah. I'm just done. I won't watch another game the rest of the year.
I wouldn't worry too much about that.
We won't have to do college football talk, at least about the Buckeyes, then on Monday.
Yeah.
No,
we get a little bit of a break from that, and hopefully we'll bounce back in the NFL and in college.
Was there any other bigger games though? Any other spoils? Or?
Iowa once again beat Iowa State. That was the other where 2 ranked teams played against each other, and Iowa State. Every year, they have this coach named Matt Campbell, and every year it's like he's the new guy. He was talked about to be the new coach at Ohio State before they hired Ryan Day. It's like, this is the next guy. He's really great, and every year he loses to Iowa. So I think I'm done hearing about Matt Campbell and Iowa State. Heard enough about that. So good for Iowa though. They might be the team that takes out Ohio State.
They're ranked 5 now, so they've got a big jump.
Looking good. So kudos to them. If you need a positive.
Go Iowa.
It's Iowa.
We'll take them.
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot. This show only exists because of support from listeners like you. Find out more and help out at RadioU.com/donate.